Hey everyone, welcome to MORStudio, the place where we review movies, make movies, break down the latest entertainment news, and teach you how to make films with AI. Our weekly movie news roundup drops every Saturday. Alright, let's jump straight into this week's news. The Odyssey had an absolutely phenomenal week. It dropped by only 29%, pulled in another $87 million, and pushed its worldwide total to $700 million. That gives it the biggest second weekend of any Christopher Nolan movie, even bigger than Oppenheimer. Analysts now think the film could reach $1.5 billion and turn Christopher Nolan into the third highest-grossing director in history, right behind Steven Spielberg and James Cameron. And the crazy part is, Nolan celebrated his 56th birthday just last week. He's roughly 20 years younger than both of them, so he still has plenty of time to keep making movies and even challenge Cameron's records at the very top. The Odyssey has not even opened in China yet. Its Chinese release is scheduled for next week, with 800 theaters across the country preparing to screen it. Not a single one of those venues is planning to show another film, so the movie could get another huge box office boost. The Greek Prime Minister also had a video call with Christopher Nolan last week and thanked him, saying that what Nolan had done with the film helped introduce Greek civilization to audiences around the world. But Nolan also caught a bit of bad luck. Throughout the press tour, he kept mentioning Emily Wilson, whose 2017 English translation of The Odyssey was one of his main references while making the movie. Then Wilson gave an interview and absolutely threw him under the bus. She said she would be ashamed if she had played even the slightest part in writing the screenplay. Her reason was that the non-white characters were written in a shallow, underdeveloped way and seemed to exist mostly to support the white characters. That was the basis of her criticism of the film. Another movie holding its red carpet premieres alongside The Odyssey is Spider-Man. Its early screenings earned an 8.2 on IMDb, 91% on Rotten Tomatoes, and 71 on Metacritic. With numbers like that, analysts believe it could make $800 million in its opening week alone. Why are they predicting something that massive? Because the film has already sold $200 million worth of tickets in advance, with China accounting for most of those sales. And just to give you an idea of how enormous this pre-sale is, 3.09 million people have already bought Spider-Man tickets in North America alone. That means the United States and Canada. The internet is also on fire with theories about what the movie's story might be. People have even started trying to figure it out through Zendaya's outfits, because whenever Zendaya is promoting a film, her red carpet looks usually seem to tell that film's story. Fans noticed that she wore black to every premiere and guessed that she might have taken inspiration from Millie Brown Boggs' Stranger Things red carpet looks. Millie wore black throughout that show's press tour and later explained that she had done it because of what happened at the end of Stranger Things Season 5. It was almost like she was in mourning. So, when people saw Zendaya wearing black everywhere, especially at the Los Angeles premiere, they started guessing that she might secretly be the villain, or that her character could die in this movie. Of course, the second those theories went viral, she showed up in London wearing white. That premiere was an all-women event. Then she went to Shanghai, where she wore red once and white again for another appearance. So much for cracking the code. Tom Holland gave a funny interview too. He was annoyed with the audience and said, basically, I sit in the theater, and at the beginning they show how miserable Peter Parker is. The guy has no friends, his life is a disaster, and then I hear people laughing. He was genuinely offended. Like, what kind of fans are you? You're laughing at Peter Parker's suffering? Florence Pugh was at the London premiere as well because she has a very brief role in the movie. As you know, Florence Pugh is part of the Thunderbolts in the Marvel Universe and plays Yelena, the sister of Black Widow, the character Scarlett Johansson used to play. She has a tiny part in this film and will also appear in Avengers Doomsday. Sadie Sink has been going head-to-head with Zendaya in the fashion department, and her outfits have been getting a ton of attention on social media. In one interview, she said she had recently watched The Widow's Bay and that it had become her favorite series. Hideo Kojima and Guillermo del Toro have both said the same thing before. Sadie said she was thrilled to hear that a second season was coming next year. The first season has now finished airing and received 19 Emmy nominations. Now let's move on to Comic-Con because they had an insanely busy week. Thousands of people attended, and many of them were given Dr. Doom masks. The funny part is that a black market appeared almost immediately after the event, with the masks reselling for as much as $100. Ryan Reynolds pulled a great stunt too. You know how people dress up as different characters at these conventions, entertain the crowd, and pose for photos? Well, Reynolds put on the actual Deadpool suit and walked around among the fans without anyone realizing it was really him. Later, still wearing the suit, he crashed the event and joked, "Don't you have any reshoots I could sneak into?" That was basically their indirect, comedic way of telling fans that Deadpool is not in Avengers Doomsday. Marvel did officially confirm, however, that Chris Evans will definitely appear in the film, and Peggy Carter is returning to the Avengers as well. Another major reveal was Ryan Gosling being officially cast as the new Ghost Rider. Sean Levy, the director of Deadpool and Wolverine, has been chosen to direct, and the new Ghost Rider movie is scheduled for 2028. There's a fun little connection here, too. Eva Mendes, Ryan Gosling's real-life partner, played Ghost Rider's love interest 20 years ago, back when Nicolas Cage was playing the character. Marvel also chose its new Black Panther. In the story, T'Challa's son will become the next Black Panther in the third film, and David Johnson has been cast in the role. That movie is also being planned for a 2028 release. And Comic-Con is not just Marvel and DC. Plenty of non-superhero projects show up too. Paramount invited Johnny Depp this year, and he appeared in full makeup and costume as Scrooge from his new movie, Ebenezer. Most of you already know A Christmas Carol. It is the story of a miserly man who believes he is going to die on Christmas Day. And it has been adapted dozens of times. The director of MaXXXine is taking on this version. What makes it interesting is that the movie only has a $38 million budget. And if you have ever wondered how much the Amber Heard divorce damaged Depp's career, here's one answer. He is reportedly being paid just $5 million for this film, while his salary used to climb as high as $20 million. Depp stayed in character while mingling with the crowd, telling people they all had to pay their taxes, and even standing at the Comic-Con entrance pretending to collect money from attendees. Naturally, the film is coming out close to Christmas, sometime in November. TV shows had a big presence at Comic-Con too. The Lord of the Rings brought out its entire cast and revealed that the new season will not follow a normal weekly schedule. The first 4 episodes will all arrive together on November 11th. Episodes 5 and 6 will follow on November 18th, and the final 2 will arrive 1 week later, on November 25th. So, instead of stretching an 8-episode season across 2 months, they're releasing the whole thing in just 3 weeks. The team also confirmed a 5-year time jump. Season 3 takes place 5 years after Season 2 and 5 years after the fall of Eregion. By then, Sauron controls and rules over a huge part of Middle-earth, and he is busy forging the One Ring. So yes, we are finally going to see the creation of the One Ring. Several new actors have joined the series. Simon Pegg will voice the Balrog, Jamie Campbell will play Galadriel's missing husband, and an actor has been cast as one of the Nazgul. That means we're going to see the life of a Nazgul before he became that terrifying creature. New images of the Nazgul designs were also released, and several performers appeared at Comic-Con in full Nazgul makeup. According to the team, Tom Bombadil will appear as well. He has always been one of the most mysterious and underexplored characters in the stories, so it is obvious that the series is going to create new material for him. Another show that brought its full cast to Comic-Con was Silo. Apple had a very strong presence at the convention. The Silo team officially announced that Season 4 will be the final season and that it will premiere in the summer of 2027, exactly 1 year from now. They even showed a short teaser for Season 4, which is almost unheard of while Season 3 is still airing. But that is one of Apple's trademarks. They often shoot 2 seasons back-to-back. Rebecca Ferguson also defended the show. She said that when Season 3 began, she received a flood of negative comments mocking the decision to have Juliet lose her memory again. People were basically saying, "Come on, you're padding the story. You wiped her memory just to squeeze out a few extra episodes." Ferguson insisted that the memory loss has a genuine purpose in the story. More importantly, she promised that every question will be answered in Season 4 and that the series will not end with some vague, open-ended finale. She also talked about Dune. When they asked her about the new trailer and what she could reveal about her role in the third film, she replied, "I'm in the movie for 10 seconds, and they put those 10 seconds in the trailer, so you've already seen everything there is to see from me. I have nothing else to tell you." Apple TV also released a new image from Severance and confirmed filming on Season 3 has begun, which means the scripts are finished and production is moving forward. They said the third season is expected in the summer of 2027, again, exactly 1 year from now. The creative team has been completely replaced. Every writer working on the new season is different from the writers who made Season 1. Now we just have to wait and see whether that changes the quality of the show. Apple TV also unveiled Season 2 of Dark Matter. All the original cast members are returning, and the new season begins on August 28th, so we are only about a month away. Then, Apple revealed a brand new series that looked seriously cool and grabbed a lot of attention online. Neuromancer, based on William Gibson's cyberpunk novel, the same book that helped inspire The Matrix. The series follows a hacker played by Callum Turner who is forced to team up with a professional assassin equipped with cybernetic body modifications. Together, they set out to rob a powerful family. The show will have 10 episodes, the first 2 arrive in January 2027, and a new episode will follow every Friday. Amazon brought a similar project to Comic-Con, one we've already discussed on the channel, Blade Runner 2099. Michelle Yeoh and Hunter Schafer both attended, and Schafer wore the same style of costume Ana de Armas wore in Blade Runner. The title tells you exactly when the story takes place. Blade Runner 2099 is set 50 years after Blade Runner 2049. By this point, the replicants, the artificial humans, have become the dominant power in the world, while actual humans have been reduced to second-class citizens. Hunter Schafer plays an ordinary human who pretends to be a replicant in order to save her own life. Michelle Yeoh plays a replicant who hunts humans. The series has 8 episodes, and all of them will be released together on Amazon on November 25th, roughly 3 months from now. Schafer also spoke about the action sequences, saying the show was packed with them and that she even suffered a head injury while filming one scene. Comic-Con also gave us a genuinely touching moment. Rick Moranis returned with a new Spaceballs movie after 30 years. Younger viewers may not know him that well, but he was a major star back in the day and appeared in movies like Ghostbusters. After his wife died in 1991, Moranis retired from acting so he could raise his children. Now, 30 decades later, his kids are grown and he has finally returned to movies. That is why the entire crowd gave him such an incredible welcome. Moving on to some upcoming films, Sony unveiled the new Jumanji, which will be the final installment in the series. All the familiar cast members are returning, including Kevin Hart, Dwayne Johnson, and Jack Black. A short teaser revealed that the rules are changing this time. Instead of the main characters entering the Jumanji game, the characters inside Jumanji will escape from the console and enter the real world. Dwayne Johnson also said there is a scene designed as a tribute to Robin Williams and the original Jumanji. The movie is scheduled to hit theaters on December 11th. Another new movie on the way is Matchbox. Remember when I told you that after Barbie became a hit, studios started digging through popular toy brands and turning them into movies and shows? Masters of the Universe, which Amazon recently turned into a film, also started as one of those childhood toy lines. Matchbox is based on those tiny toy cars people buy. Some collect them, while kids actually play with them. John Cena, Jessica Biel, and Golshifteh Farahani are starring, and the director of the Extraction movies is directing this one as well. The story is not literally about one of the cars. Instead, the cars are being used to trigger that sense of childhood nostalgia. The movie follows a group of childhood friends who reunite after years apart and somehow get dragged into a case involving the theft of a nuclear bomb. Matchbox is scheduled to arrive on Netflix on October 9th. The director also spoke about Extraction 3 and confirmed that it will be released on Netflix next year. John Cena and his wife were both at Comic-Con as well. Another upcoming series got a lot of attention online, mainly because of Cristiano Ronaldo. It is called The Day Ones, and it is being created by the same person behind shows like Homeland and Billions. The story follows a football agent whose job keeps him constantly moving between the sport's biggest stars. There will be shady deals, favoritism, backroom politics, and all the other things that go on behind the scenes in football. Filming has already started. Damian Lewis plays the agent, while Cristiano Ronaldo and Henry will probably appear as themselves. Ronaldo is also a producer, meaning he is paid part of the production costs and is now officially stepping into the entertainment industry too. There is no release date yet, but the show will probably be ready in a year to a year and a half. Another series caught the internet's attention because of its creator, Mike Flanagan, the filmmaker behind The Haunting of Hill House and The Fall of the House of Usher. His new series is Carrie, adapted from the Stephen King novel. The book has already been turned into a movie before, so this is essentially a remake 50 years later. It is an Amazon production and is scheduled for release on October 7th. We will be able to download it and watch it as soon as it drops. Now let's get into celebrity news. 2 celebrity children applied to change their last names last week. One of them was Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie's 4th child, Vivian Jolie, who is now turned 18. She asked the court to remove Pitt from her surname so she would be known only as Vivian Jolie. As I mentioned before, that makes her the 4th of their children to do this. Suri Cruise's request was also approved last week. She applied 2 years ago to remove Cruise from her surname, and the court has now granted it. She chose her mother's middle name as her new surname, not even her mother's last name, but her middle name. The reason Suri cut this tie with Tom Cruise goes back to Scientology. The organization has schools where children enroll at a very young age. Instead of receiving a normal education, they study the teachings of Scientology and perform service work at Scientology centers, cleaning floors, sweeping, and handling all kinds of chores. Tom Cruise wanted to send Suri to one of those schools, but her mother, Katie, refused and left Tom's home. So by changing her name, Suri was also trying to show her gratitude to her mother. Last week, Chuck Russell, the director of The Mask and A Nightmare on Elm Street, died at the age of 74. The Mask was the film that introduced Jim Carrey and especially Cameron Diaz to a much wider audience. Jim Carrey was already somewhat known, but that movie pushed him all the way to the top. The mother of Casey Affleck and Ben Affleck also died at the age of 83 after a months-long battle with cancer. But celebrities gave us plenty of controversy last week too, and the ugliest story involved Jared Leto. The BBC aired a documentary in which 10 different women accused Leto of sexual assault. 4 of them said they were underage teenagers when the alleged abuse happened. The BBC also obtained messages the women had sent to Leto, along with an image of a non-disclosure agreement between Leto and one of the women. The document carries the signature of Leto's lawyer. These accusations had been made before, and Leto denied all of them, but with the new evidence now coming out, he has chosen to stay silent for the moment. We will have to see what he does next, but there is a very strong chance his career is permanently over. On a lighter note, Macaulay Culkin, who spent years saying he would never appear in another Home Alone sequel, revealed last week that he had met with the people behind the film. They are so determined to make another one that they offered him enough money to make him seriously reconsider. In the new Home Alone, Culkin would play a single father with a bad relationship with his son. On Christmas Eve, the boy goes inside, locks the door, and leaves his dad trapped outside. Then, father and son start setting traps for each other, each trying to catch the other one. The final contract has not been signed yet, so we will have to wait and see whether they can actually make it happen. We also had 2 celebrity weddings last week. 27-year-old Madison Bieber and 35-year-old Emma Roberts both finally tied the knot. Aubrey Plaza, 42, gave birth to her first child as well. You may remember that we discussed the backlash around her relationship a while ago. As soon as she separated from her husband, she entered a new relationship. She became pregnant while the divorce was still being finalized, and then her first husband died by suicide. Now the baby has been born, and many people online believe her behavior played a role in his death. That is why she constantly has to disable the comments on her social media accounts. The last celebrity section has 2 quick stories. The first is about Michael Johnston, the actor from Obsession. His female co-star's career took off. She is going to appear in Heat 2, she has a role in the Marvel Universe, and she may even be in the new Call of Duty movie. Now Johnston has landed his first major deal as well, The Mummy 4, where he will star alongside Brendan Fraser. And our final celebrity story is Snoop Dogg, although this one easily could have gone into the week's toxic news section. Without taking any substances whatsoever, at least supposedly, Snoop released a video of himself titled Snoop Spider. Yes, he basically removed the dog and replaced it with Spider. Someone had used AI to create a video of Snoop Dogg as Spider-Man standing on top of a skyscraper. And the funniest part is that even the AI version of Snoop is smoking weed. He's sitting on the edge of the tower, getting high. Now let's move on to the box office, although there is almost nothing to debate because the Odyssey completely owns it. If you want to know just how dominant it was, the Odyssey took first place last week with $138 million in the United States alone. Moana came in second with $16 million, so the Odyssey made almost 8 times as much. Third and fourth place went to Toy Story and Minions, with both films earning $15 million. Now for the final story, the week's toxic news. And this week's victim is Tom Holland. As part of the promotional tour for the Odyssey, Tom Holland appeared on Hot Ones. You know the show. We've featured it in the news plenty of times. Famous actors go there to promote their films while eating increasingly spicy wings and answering the host's questions. Ana de Armas, for example, appeared on the show while promoting Ballerina. This time, they brought in Tom Holland for the Odyssey. Now, keep in mind that Hot Ones has been running for about 7 years, and Holland became the first guest ever to throw up on the show. Jon Bernthal was there too, and that guy is genuinely tough, apparently just as tough in real life as he is on screen. He ate the hot sauce without even reacting, while Tom Holland was sitting across from him looking like he was about to die. Naturally, the internet started roasting him. This man has defeated Green Goblin, Thanos, Doctor Doom, and Doctor Strange in his movies, but in real life, he could not defeat a spicy chicken wing. The host told him, "You're the first person who has ever thrown up on my show." Holland, even while losing his mind, replied, "I love being first at everything. Now, I'm first here too." And if you want to understand how complicated the economics of the entertainment industry can get, the outfit Holland was wearing was Louis Vuitton. The guy was practically dying, but the second he threw up, he immediately checked his clothes and said, "The Louis Vuitton is clean." Louis Vuitton was sponsoring him for that appearance, so he was terrified he might throw up on the outfit and they would come asking for their money back. After that show, Holland appeared on another program where he and Matt Damon made pizza together. Holland told the whole story about throwing up, and Damon replied, "I was on that show too. I threw up as well. The difference is, I had enough sense not to do it in front of the camera. I went outside and did it later." Alright friends, that is it for this week's video. I hope you enjoyed it.